Where to begin? You're gonna keep seeing this image until you know it's realized that Nintendo is basically fucking you in the ass. And I'm gonna continue making videos. Not. I don't know about continually making videos, but I'm hoping this will be the last video for a while. But until you guys realize you are getting screwed. And right now, the amount of defense and some of the defenses that people that this is all coming from is appalling on the Nintendo Labo, and how you people can't seem to or don't want to understand how badly Nintendo has screwed you. Now, did some math and I said 170 in the last video when it really it's 160. $10 off, whatever, for the whole set. For the two added with the two toy cons as well as the stencil sets. Now that was a mistake on my end, and I know you're getting screwed on this because first of all, the variety set, which cost about $70, um, is a game that really should only cost about $20 because it's really just a set of mini games that works with the cardboard cutouts. And even though that some of these cardboard cutouts are using special reflective tapes to work with the IR sensor, or the fact that the thing will just jiggle the cardboard box into a certain direction, there is no excuse to justify the full $70. And then you got the robot pack, which was Project Giant Robot, or in your case, or in all the Nintendo fanboys' cases, justify because this is a canceled game that we all hated, but now that it's come back, we love it. When really, Project Giant Robot is a demo game to demo a peripheral that will only be around once and then forgotten about. And even though that Review Tech USA is with everybody else screaming at the top of his lungs saying, but this is the greatest thing ever. But he at least acknowledged the fact that cardboard is probably a very weak and not very good material. And sadly, he's right. Because, uh, as you all know, cardboard doesn't last very long, and children like to be destructive with their shit. Most kids. And they're asking $80 in cardboard mostly. Now, if this game is a full $60 game, it still doesn't justify the $80. Look, I got nothing wrong with Nintendo making cardboard cutout crap and trying to sell that as add-ons for their Nintendo Switch. My problem is the prices. The only thing that's actually been priced well is the stencil set they're going to put up for $10. But 70 and $80, adding this up to $160 with the stencil set is highway fucking robbery. And to make matters worse, you got young Yao, who's running around talking about all these companies screwing people over, which they have. I mean, Bungie, pretty much EA, and all their games have been screwing everybody around. But when it came to the Nintendo Labo and their overpriced cardboard boxes, he gets up with everybody else and says, "I love this idea." Forgetting simple facts like A, the two games are technically just demos, and even if they're demos, the peripherals are made of cardboard, which is a very insanely weak material and can be destroyed easily. And of course, you got some people who are just making lies up, like saying Nintendo will replace whatever you broke for free. or that you'll be able to carve out your own cardboard cutouts with a knife. Except that the reflective material cannot be reproduced, which means you have to rebuy the box, and there's no real confirmation that they're going to give you replacement parts for free. Most of the shit that most of these fans have been coming up with, and even the some of the non Nintendo fans who brought up that this is for kids. Let them take our money. Let them take our money. It's for our children. Um, have been making up nonsense or coming up with nothing but random speculations that have not yet been proven or it hasn't been said by Nintendo at all, or it comes up with some of the most worst excuses humanly possible. Like when everyone and everybody like the few groups of people who justifies a game that was a tech demo for the Switch called 1-2 Switch. And many people have said that it should have come in as a packed in game, while other people are saying, but it's a full fledged game. You should like this game for its full $60. No, Nintendo screwed you, and you happily took your wallet out and threw it because you don't understand what tech demos are. And to make matters worse about 1-2 Switch, um, most people who have bought the game have pretty much shelved it and forgotten about it. Unlike Wii Sports. But in Wii Sports defense, that had some replayability. It wasn't really forgotten about after a while. But when it comes to 1-2 Switch, do you see anybody going back to that? Do you see anybody even willing or wanting to go back to that game after they've already played all the mini games? When was the last time you got up and replayed your 1-2 Switch game over all the others? Not a real lot. And then, as well as the other people who've tried to also tell me that the Switch is more powerful than the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, which was easily disproved on the simple fact that all you have to do is look at every single port that has come out on the Nintendo Switch, from LA Noir and Doom, which unfortunately was the best selling ones, but also suffered the most worst frame rate issues than any of the other ports put out. Yeah, LA Noir, a game that came out for the PlayStation 3, is having frame rate issues on the Switch. And of course, not forgetting that with the Wii U, you can at least plug in an external 2 terabyte hard drives onto the thing, adding up to 4 terabytes. Can you do that with the Switch? Can you add any kind of hard drive space to it besides an SD card? Like which I believe is 168 4 bit, 164 gigs, which is not very much. I mean, Sony is right now the only gaming console that allows you to swap out your internal hard drive for at least something about up to 2, maybe 3 terabytes of hard drive space. And then you can add another extra 8 terabytes of external hard drive space. Or the fact that most peripherals don't work with the Switch. Like the Skylanders peripherals don't work and you have to use the. But that's at least bypassed by some of the internal functions of the Switch. But then you got like games like Lego Dimensions, which just doesn't work, and it's not out on the Switch because, well, they can't get the peripheral to work for it. I mean, but mostly Nintendo Labo and some of the poor, most idiotic excuses. As I said, cardboard's one of the most weakest materials out there, but yet the Wii had peripherals for their Wiimotes, which were made out of plastic and was significantly way more cheaper. And some of them even came in with packed in games. And that shit is more durable than, well, say, the boxes that they were packed into. And then coming from some people who have literally talked about these video game companies screwing people over and screwing people over, and then not doing math or just basic logical sense, they're okay with Nintendo screwing everybody over. So, you know, all these loot crates and shit are hurting people. But when somebody is giving you overpriced pieces of cardboard, which is fundamentally weak as shit, and putting a price tag of $70, $80 on there, that's perfectly fine. Or that when they give you a demo disc, a disc of a game that has literally been shelved by most people already, and sell it at a full $60, but it's fine. It's fine because now it's at a lower price. Now you can get it over at any store. Oh, lower, but they've already taken my money a long time ago. So what can you do? The Switch has literally become it's okay machine. It's okay. It's okay that these other companies are screwing you over and that we're doing almost practically the same shit. And we've even taken functionalities that the Wii U has and out of the Switch, and because you clearly don't seem to care about your own money. As long as we put the brand name Nintendo across it, you'll buy it, no matter what. And you have proven it time and time again that you will buy anything with the Nintendo name on it. And the Switch has proven how gullible and sad and pathetic you people have become. But much like how the Call of Duty and the Battlefront games, how you, uh, how they repeatedly, ever since Modern Warfare, gave you the same game over and over and over again, and they just added in a few little functions here and there, or how EA, well, the men and all their football games, sports games, have literally been the same game, and they literally monopolized on it, and then every single one of you people literally sat there and accepted this as just the way the video game industry was, or that you took these tiny momentum do nothing changes and said, wow, these new innovations are great. And all they really did was put a slight graphics upgrade, or in some cases, didn't do any kind of innovations whatsoever. And then after a while, you begin to realize this, that you were getting screwed over, but only years later after you had gotten screwed. It's right now watching the collective people come out of one scam only to fall for another scam and then sit there and accept the secondary scam and say, it's okay, it's okay. It's not like we're falling for the same trick but in a more different way. The variety pack is definitely a scam. The variety, I mean, Nintendo's Libra is variety Toy-Con 1 is definitely a scam. Without, I mean, I know it's a scam because it's a demo disc. And they're selling that demo disc for $70 with cheap ass or even though that game should be no more than maybe $40, maybe even 30. So they're basically just overpricing the cardboard that comes with it. Then you got the robot game, or Toy-Con 2, which, okay, if the game is worth $60, the cardboard that comes with it shouldn't be worth that much because cardboard is insanely cheap and everywhere, and it's not that hard to produce. Usually, it mostly costs about free dollars. But time and time again, you have proven that you like getting screwed by Nintendo. This is basically how it's going to be because Nintendo is right now the next Madden, and where EA and Madden, where they just or EA and sports games, where they just release the same game over and over and over and over again, until like a couple of more years later that they realize they got screwed. And unfortunately, that's how this is going to end. I'm hoping that by the time this product comes out and you all overly spend for this money and then realize how flimsy uh, the Nintendo Libro's little cardboard cutouts are. Because they are going to be flimsy. Because that's the basis of human science and matching cardboard with plastic. Because it's common fucking knowledge. Because right now, the way everyone is acting about this Libro stuff is, you know, rock paper scissors, but this time, or well, not rock paper scissors, since since paper does beat rock because paper wraps around rock, but whoops. But basically, people thinking that like that paper uh, or using bricks made out of paper is more durable than using bricks made out of, oh, I don't know, concrete or more harder materials. And for all those who think that, if the Switch fails, that Nintendo is going to go out of business, you're morons. Because, like I said, Nintendo makes 90% of their money off of the licensings, more than they do off the consoles and the games. I mean, the Pokemon franchise, that's a shit ton of fucking money alone. And let's not forget that there are feature films based on the Pokemon franchise. Some of which is actually were put into theaters and made a fuck ton of money. Which also goes to prove that Nintendo doesn't need to take their Nintendo Libro and make them cost $80 and $70 respectively at $150 together, along with the stencil set, making it all up to $160. Your defense of Nintendo has literally made no sense and has literally gotten against conventional technology and even in now against basic logical science that proves cardboard is extremely more weaker than plastic. And now they're going to sell you 3 demo games way overpriced, while 2 of them are packed with extremely cheap and very breakable cardboard. See ya. This is just gonna be sad when those Libros are falling off the shelves because you people are screaming, "Take my money!" Just sad. See ya.